tariff talk is what has dominated sentiment in the past few weeks, past few months. US President Donald Trump has now announced a 90-day pause on his sweeping tariffs on all countries barring China. But what is the cost that this has come at? We have seen US markets lose over $6.6 trillion in value. Market cap of Indian firms fall $30 trillion from the peak, and NSE market cap declined $280 trillion in just 3 trading sessions. While now we have seen global markets stage a historic rally on Trump's tariff U-turn, we saw the Nasdaq record its best session since 2001 by soaring over 12%, the S&P 500 surging over 9.5% and posting its biggest single-day gain since 2008, and the Dow Jones jumped nearly 3,000 points in just one trading session. But to decode the impact of the US President, of course, Trump's constant flip-flop, as it were, over the tariff situation, I'm joined by senior market expert Ajay Bagga. Ajay Bagga, thank you for your time. I'd like to begin by asking you, as someone who's tracking global markets very closely, India has remained resilient, but the market cap of Indian firms has also fallen $30 trillion from the peak, and the NSE market cap also declined $280 trillion in just 3 trading sessions. What should India's stock markets expect now going forward?
Well, immediately there is a relief rally coming, Sakshi. If our markets were open today we are observing Mahavir Jayanti, so markets are shut for the day. We saw that the GIFT Nifty, the Indian offshore futures, were up nearly 700 points, or nearly 3% yesterday in the US trading. Today they are a little softer. They're down by about 180 odd points from that point, but still it's a good 550 points up from the close of markets on Wednesday evening. So you can expect a 2% bounce in the Indian markets tomorrow if all things go as per plan. Today, we are seeing Europe and Asia were up quite sharply. Europe has opened up, and let's see the European close in another 4 or 5 hours. We'll get an idea. Another 6 hours from now, the US inflation numbers come in, which are expected to show a little softening of inflation. That will help the markets. But overall, a lot of the sentimental damage, Sakshi, has been done. So the trust is broken. There is a stampede into safe assets, and the basis trade in the US, the US bond sell-off that happened. Today, there is a 30-year US bond which is being sold. Let's see how the demand for that comes through. There has been a lot of selling of US government bonds, US treasuries. So that we'll have to see. That was the big reason behind Trump doing such a humiliating turnaround and doing a reversal. Otherwise, with all the fanfare and drama with which he launched these reciprocal tariffs, the idea was he'll not do a reversal that soon, but he had to eat humble pie yesterday. Markets are not very convinced.
Right, markets are not very convinced. Of course, I'm also joined by Mitali Nikor, senior economist. Mitali, do you agree? And of course, the window for trade deal and negotiations now in this 90-day pause period, what does that look like? And of course, this pause period is coming after a lot of chaos, and of course, global markets losing trillions in market value.
Absolutely, Sakshi. I mean, this was an absolutely needless exercise in terms of, the entire world coming to a halt economically in many ways over the last week. And, while the president might believe that he's created a position of strength and countries are calling him, in order to negotiate. However, this is not entirely factually correct, because there are a number of countries which have actually said that they will fight to the end. For example, China. But there are many others as well, who are then now thinking of aligning themselves on the Chinese, side. So at the end of the day, I completely agree with Ajay sir that over the next, 3 months in a sense, there will be hectic negotiation between the countries that have approached the president. And, we will start to see a number of countries approach this from a very hardline position and say, this is our national interest. We are not going to give this up, knowing knowing very well what the US, interest is going to be. So I really believe that this is going to be approached from a position of strength. I mean, even if we look at the Indian context, India has a number of areas to safeguard. They will definitely safeguard them while looking at giving concessions in other areas. So I really expect that this is going to be a time of tough negotiations.
Right, a time of tough negotiations and of course a spotlight on trade deals then. Thank you both for sharing your thoughts as far as the market mood is concerned and of course from the economic standpoint as well. Thank you.